Hello and welcome to another disused station special. This time we're starting here at Bishop Stortford station, my hometown and my local railway station. As we go in search of a railway which ran from here, crossed Essex to Braintree. So we go in search of the Bishop Stortford, Dunmow and Braintree line. And so we begin our story of this railway line here, just north of Bishop Stortford station. This is roughly the point where the branch line branched off to the far side there. Might be able to just make out the embankment. My trains would make the climb up to get up the hill and out of Stortford. This is the line pointing towards Stortford station. The line heading north to Cambridge and Stansted Airport. And here you'd see, well, I was gone just the other side of these trees. What's here, and there's even still a bridge. So it used to take trains over this footpath. You come up here, this footpath here, you can follow it right away round, practically to near where it crossed the main road up ahead on the rail bridge. We'll talk about more of that later. This was the railway that ran between Bishop Stortford, Dunmow and Braintree. Opened in 1869. Closed to passengers in 1952. And freight closed in various stages up until a final closure between here and Eastern Lodge, which we see later in 1974. Okay, look, you still see the fence posts. Well, the railway was probably never going to be a major success, certainly passenger wise. It was built mainly to get produce from the farms and that to the Stork navigation here at Stortford. It proved handy for the Great Eastern Railway cutting Essex in half, which meant no other railway companies could invade their territory. This would then prove detrimental to towns like Dunmow and that, and other towns in Essex, like Saffron Walden for example, where there were plans originally to build a line up through Ongar, Dunmow, Saffron Walden towards Cambridge, York. This all never came, and these places remain isolated backwaters away from the railway today. So now we've come to the first real structure you can see of this railway through Bishop Stortford. This road bridge coming the road over what was the track bed. See, looking down there towards the point where it joined the main line. Just further down there was also once a road bridge crossing the main road. You can just about still make out the brick supports. You see many of these houses obviously built their gardens onto the track bed. And apparently even when the rowing was closed and the land sold off, they had the option to extend their properties onto the old railway line. One of these who done this was an old English teacher of mine, and he actually ran a garden railway along part of it, so technically trains did once again return to this part of the railway. Don't know if it's still going. I left school many years ago now, but if there's any pictures of online, I'll look for them and put them on here. So this is the approximate site of the first railway station from this line. This was called Hockerill Halt. Served primarily the golf course, which is nearby. Also, this area of Bishop Stortford. Although I doubt patronage was that high, as the main railway station is literally only about 10-15 minute walk from me. Just the other side of these bushes there is a road bridge looking down on the track bed, and the exact side of the halt where the entrance would have been. That's on the busy main road, so I thought I'd come down onto this alleyway instead, which is where the track bed used to be. This is also where I first learnt of the Braintree line. I used to walk over that bridge all the time going to school if I missed the bus. And we used to walk up there to a firework display. And when we used to walk back, my dad used to always joke about minding the trains or chucking me on the railway line. That's when I learnt about the disused railway. It used to run here through Stortford. This intrigued me. It's always loved trains, but I had no idea about disused railways, or never heard of the beaching cuts or anything like that. Though this line had nothing to do with the beaching cuts. Closed to passengers in 1952 and freight finally in between the 60s and the 70s. Late 60s, early 70s, so nothing to do with beaching. But I've heard some locals say. I didn't know there was a station here until at one point we looked in one of my dad's many railway books and there was actually a picture of it. Surprising this. It is the start of my sort of fascination exploration of disused railways. So now we've come to the start of the railway line proper. This railway bridge. This is ironically called Start Hill. This is the start of Flitch Way. Just the other side of the motorway from Bishop Stortford. Go up here onto the track bed. You can see in that direction you can carry on a little bit further to a bridge, remains of an old bridge. You can start heading off in this direction and can follow the old railway pretty much the whole way to Braintree, apart from a couple of diversions around Dunmow. The 15-mile track bed is still pretty much in place from here. So here I am at the first station you can find on the Flitch Way. This is Stane Street Halt. you can tell by the sign. This is a very, very simple platform structure, barely off the ground. Just like Bannister Green Halt further down the line, which I have done a video on. Go see that if you haven't. So passengers had to enter the train via steps into the carriage. So you've got the information sign here, telling you all about the station, its history, and the rebuilding project. Named after Stang Street, the Roman road, of course. Right on the edge of Hatfield Forest, which you can see behind here. Also right next to Stansted Airport. So you might hear a lot of aircraft noise. Map here of the whole Flitch Way. See, we are here. So now we've come to the first main station on the line. This is Takeley station. So here the station building, beautifully kept. Being used as offices, a cafe I believe at one point, various other uses. Don't think it's currently in use. Looks like I've all boarded up. This all used to be the goods yard. Then onto the platform. Yeah. So this is now the next station on the line. This is Eastern Lodge, Halt. What you can see there is the crossing keeper's cottage, and the small white building next to it is where the signals and levers and that were kept to control the crossing. The platform would have been just the other side of the house. The track would have crossed the road here. As Flitch Way does carry on further for a short distance before coming to a bridge over the A120. It does carry on for a short distance after this towards Dunmow. That's you'll see next, the station site Dunmow is long gone. So you got the sign here about local wildlife, picture of the station, and the map again, showing you where we are. Eastern Lodge was built by permission of the Countess of Warwick, who lived nearby Eastern Lodge. The building's gone, but you can still see the gates just up the road here. It was once even visited by the future King Edward VIII. It's also used to build nearby air base here during the Second World War. One of many along here. There's one here is the largest Stansted, which is now Stansted Airport, and there's even one at Dunmow. And there's further along at Stebbing as well. This was where the final trains ran from. The line was closed to freight from here in 1972, serving the banana factory, which is just down there. Still used today, but obviously road traffic only now. And the line stayed open until one last excursion in 1974. So we've now come to what is to date the site of Dunmow Station, the Great Dunmow. Now unfortunately just the site of the Dunmow bypass, where I had to cut straight through here, off the other side. Nothing left at all of the station, where I went off in that direction, off towards Braintree, crossing a viaduct. Sadly it's no longer there, but if there's any pictures of it, I'll add them to the video. It's a Great Dunmow, obviously being a major town on the line, halfway between Bishop's Stortford and Braintree. So if you're wondering why it's called the Flitch Way, dates back to hundreds of years ago for the Flitch trials, which took place here in Great Dunmow, where people, if they could prove they had 1 year of happy marriage, would win a flitch of bacon. So there you go. So if you come up the side here, this used to be the approach road to the station. The poor construction of the viaduct is what led to this line's demise, this side of it in a way, needing to be demolished, which cut the railway in half. Meaning trains couldn't go all the way through, so they had to run Stortford to Dunmow and Braintree to Felsted. You can see this is all what's left as evidence: the Station Road sign and the Station Road industrial estate. now we have come to the end of our journey. This is Braintree station. Flitch Way just ends just down there. See the track bed carried on straight through here. And into what would have been a second platform. This platform's long been knocked down now. There's 321, 327 there. Waiting to form a service to London Liverpool Street. It's one of their refurbished units, 321. It's been done up with air conditioning and other mod-cons. This is now the station car park. Obviously this was filmed during lockdown. I've not caught the train here and I won't. Braintree station is now the terminus of the Braintree branch line from Whittam. See, it's an hourly service, mostly to London Liverpool Street, Monday to Saturday. And on Sundays it's only a shuttle to Whittam and back. As well as the Braintree to Bishop Stortford line was never going to see any passengers, many passenger numbers, and probably will never stay open. This line has been electrified and is a success. You see the train now leaving. See, we've got a bus stop. We'll just step briefly onto the platform just to show you. The train's left, there's no one around. Got dot matrix display. Help points, timetables. Ticket office, ticket machines. Interesting science still in the first Great Eastern colours, interesting. There we go. Okay, thank you for watching and joining me on my little tour of my local disused railway and a bit about my story, my life, how I got into exploring disused railways and the whole railway life I lead. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for more videos.